Who do you think is more mentally sharp, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
Boy, where do we even jump into this? This is a good topic. I like this topic.
Or just suffering from age, maybe more.
Yeah. So I want to go.
How do you answer?
I interviewed.
What do you mean? How do you answer that?
I'm not going to give you my.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
A lot of people are saying yes.
I know.
No, I agree.
People
There's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff related to this. I agree with you. It's absolutely true. Interviewed a couple experts on this recently, Dr. Harry Siegel, Dr. John Gartner. Here's their consensus opinion. Yeah. And then if there's a different view from a psychologist or psychiatrist, I want to interview them on my show. I want to hear the other side. Okay, but so
how do they reach out?
info@davidpakman.com. So far, here's what the doctors, John Gartner and Harry Siegel, have told me. On the Biden side, what they see is normal age-related characteristics of someone who has had a stutter his entire life and physically is definitely more frail than he was 10 years ago. He's walking gingerly. This includes that sometimes he's speaking slowly in a low energy manner. Sometimes he'll say things that are inaccurate. Now, one of the big differences that the doctors pointed out as compared to Trump is that when Biden makes one of these mistakes, he will either immediately or very quickly correct himself. In other words, he's not lacking context and in this kind of mental fog where he doesn't even know what he's saying. He'll pretty quickly correct himself in most cases. With Trump, what these same doctors observed is that he will say things that make no sense whatsoever. Either phonemic paraphasias. These are where you're trying to say one thing, but you can't say it, and you repeat a different wrong thing. Sometimes it's a non-word multiple times, and then kind of bail. Like there was this recent thing where he said, "Oh, and Saudi are at." And then he just could not speak and had to move on in his speech. Or when he talks about sometimes with certain words, instead of establishment, he'll go establish, and he'll just have to move on. Or when he'll say, what was it that he said? Who was it that Nikki Haley was in charge of security on January 6th?
Nikki Haley is in charge of security.
It's crazy, and she did nothing about it.
Nikki Haley.
Haley, yep, it was crazy. And he doesn't realize he's repeating Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley had nothing to do with that. It was Nancy Pelosi. He doesn't realize that he's doing it. And that's a big red flag. They called it a neurological red flag or ticking time bomb when I interviewed them. So their view is that Trump seems, if you know what to look for, way worse off. A couple other things that some have commented on. I don't know if you guys have seen the way that when Trump stands, he hinges forward at the waist in a really strange way. Almost seems to defy gravity. You can look it up online. Now, some people say it's his lifts that he wear, but others have suggested that combined with sort of dragging of his right leg is a potential sign of a cognitive issue as well. Again, this is all only from what you see online. It's not someone who's evaluated in person, so it makes it sometimes difficult. And so that there's a lot of different issues here. He seems to do worse at night, which is sometimes something called sundowning that happens with Alzheimer's, dementia, and cognitive decline. Now, nobody I've talked to said that Trump is deeply cognitively compromised, but they are finding that it's happening more and more frequently. Where it used to be like once a month, he'd say Obama's the president right now. He often says it multiple times in a single rally now and doesn't correct himself. And when he's called out on it, he'll go, that was satire. It's like, satire? You have no sense of humor, no sense of satire. And there was no indication that you knew what you were saying. So there's a lot of these kind of red flags from the folks I've spoken to.
So you think that he is more impaired?
Spilling my water.
Nice.
That was
You're not impaired.
I almost got that.
You're sharp. You should run for president.
I can't. I wasn't born in the U.S., so I need Arnold to get the Arnold.
Do you think that
Blockhouse.
should stay? Real quick, yes or no?
No, I think I should be allowed to run.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing with Trump is
Rappy little thing.
there's no. I can just avoid the puddle if.
No,
if
it's
I need
okay.
to.
I'll get it. Go ahead.
The other thing that is absolutely the case is Trump blasts his face with self tanner and dyes his hair, and I believe has had pretty significant. Thank you. This is great. I've never seen this on an episode before. I love that.
Oh, I've spilled one, broke the glass on an episode before. Yeah,
we put that in the intro too.
I appreciate that.
You don't think Joe Biden does anything to his face to make it look more alive?
I don't know if he's, there's the idea that he had a facelift. Maybe he did, but Biden's let his hair go totally white and he's pretty pale. And so I do think that makes Trump look healthier in a very particular way. On physical health, Biden exercises, Trump doesn't. Trump's obese and he
You
eats a
think
terrible
I
diet.
feel like Trump has better physical health than Joe Biden.
Trump's obese.
I don't know about
is,
that. Yeah.
He is definitely large.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like coordination and like, I feel like I haven't seen Trump like fall too many times, and he plays golf still. And
Trump, again, so the dragging the right leg thing is something some people are looking at. You might remember when the general had to walk him down the aisle at West Point, and it looked sort of strange. Listen, Biden looks sort of frail. I don't want to deny to the he absolutely is looking sort of frail. He's wearing sneakers reportedly because it's more comfortable. He walks better in them, is coming down the low stairs off of Air Force One. He's in his 80s. There's no question about it. But I think that there's the perception because of Trump's tanning and hair dye and the hair transplant. He looks more robust. There's no doubt about it. His voice is stronger also, which increases the perception of his health. There's no doubt.
so you would say it seems as though there has been more decline on Trump, and he is currently mentally and physically probably worse off than
I only am
Biden.
going by the professionals I've spoken to because this is not my area of expertise.